Good morning, 9th standard students. This is a new kind of video series that I'm starting. It's called Solve with Me, where I'm going to solve with you practical examples of the grammar portion that we have done so far and the kind of stuff that is going to be tested for your exam. Okay, so I will solve some exercises for you so that you understand how the thought process has to go when you're solving such kind of exercises. So now let's begin with the first grammar topic that I took up, le passé composé. So these are some sentences, and there is one paragraph also where you have to fill in the blanks with the verbs that are given to you. You have to put them into the simple past or the passé composé. So let's begin. Now, the first thing that you need to do for the passé composé is identify whether the verb goes with avoir or with être. Now you know être is the Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Does écrire come there? No. That means it is avoir. So you have to conjugate avoir in the present for il, plural, which will become o, ont. Then you have to take the participle of this verb. Okay, the past participle of this verb. Now you know écrire is an irregular verb when it comes to the participle. So it is ECRIT. Okay, so your answer becomes ils ont écrit un livre. They wrote a book. Okay, next one. Regarder is not Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, so again it will go with avoir. Okay, so we have to put avoir for Juliette, which is elle, feminine singular. So avoir for elle is a. Okay, and then we have to put the participle of this here. Now this is a regular ER verb. What is the rule for the participle? Yes, cancel ER and you have to put EXO. Okay, so it will become a regarder with the E accent. Okay, next one. Sortir. Is it an être or is it avoir? Yes, it is être because it belongs to Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Okay, so now Pierre is il, masculine singular. So être for il is ESTA. Now sortir is a normal IR verb. What is the rule for IR verb to get the participle? Cancel IR and put I. Okay, so this is the participle becomes sorti, SORTI. Now, what is the additional rule when you have être as the auxiliary? Yes, you have to agree the participle with the subject. But if the subject is masculine singular, is there any agreement that takes place? No. Okay, masculine singular nothing, feminine singular extra E, masculine plural extra S, feminine plural extra E, extra S. Okay, fine. Next one is fermer, which means to close. It doesn't fall in Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, so we have to put it with avoir for je is a, present tense. Okay, fermer you have to conjugate as the past participle here. It's a normal ER verb. So instead of ER, put E accent, you will get the participle. J'ai fermé, which means I close the window. La fenêtre is the window. Okay. Next one, François me dash. You have to put rencontre. Sorry, there's a mistake here. It is rencontrer. Okay, the verb is rencontrer. So you have to put rencontrer into the passé composé. Now, rencontrer is not Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. It goes with avoir. Okay, so your subject here is François, which is il. Okay, which is masculine singular. So you have to put avoir for il is a. Okay. Now rencontrer you have to convert into the participle, which is a normal ER verb. So you cancel the ER and you have to put E accent becomes rencontre. Okay, and that is how you get the participle. François m'a rencontré à 8h. Francis met me at 8 o'clock. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Okay, est-ce que tu? So now the subject here is tu. The verb you have to put into the passé composé here is lire, which is avoir. It's not in Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. So you have to conjugate avoir for tu is a. Yes, now lire is an irregular verb when it comes to the participle. It has its own participle, doesn't follow the rules, which is lu. Okay, so it becomes est-ce que tu as lu ce livre? Did you read this book? Okay, next one. Recevoir is a normal avoir verb, doesn't fall into Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Okay, so you have to put avoir for vous is the subject here, becomes avait. Now, the participle for recevoir is again an irregular participle. Okay, it is reçu. So it becomes est-ce que vous avez reçu un cadeau? Did you receive a gift? Okay. Now, perdre, which means to lose, is again an avoir verb, doesn't fall into Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. So you have to put avoir for il is the subject, a masculine plural. So avoir for il is on. Okay, now perdre is a normal re verb. How do you get the participle for re? Cancel the re and you have to put you. Okay, so it becomes ils ont perdu le parapluie dans la forêt. They lost their umbrellas in the forest. Okay, next one. The subject here is elle. Okay, the verb you have to put is prendre. Now prendre is again doesn't fall into Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, so we use avoir for elle is a. Okay, now prendre takes an irregular participle. It doesn't follow the rule of re becoming you, so please don't do that. Okay, it's an irregular participle. Prendre becomes pris, P-R-I-S. Okay, now the last one here is subject is Leah is Sarah. Become two girls' names, become elle, plural. Okay, feminine singular is your subject. Now, partir is the Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp verb. So the auxiliary you have to use is être, not avoir. So conjugate être for elle becomes sont. Okay. Now the participle for partir is a normal IR verb. So you cancel IR, replace it with I. Participle will become parti. Now, since the auxiliary is être, you have to do something. What is that? You have to agree the participle with the subject. So I told you when it's feminine plural here. I told you it will become the agreement is an extra e for the feminine part of it, the extra s for the plural. So in total you have to add e, you also have to add s. So it becomes Leah et Sarah sont partis hier. Leah and Sarah left yesterday. Okay. Now let's do a little paragraph. Okay, it's simple. You don't have to worry that it's a paragraph and get all panicky. No, it's the same thing. It's just that all the sentences are put together as one short story. Okay, so let's do it quickly. Lise a beaucoup fait le week-end dernier. Tout d'abord, which means firstly. Okay, Lise did a lot the last week. Firstly, tout d'abord, elle. Okay, so the first verb you have to put is téléphoner. Okay, so téléphoner is avoir. It's not Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, it's avoir, so you have to conjugate avoir for elle becomes a. Téléphoner is a normal ER verb, so you just have to cancel ER, put E accent to get the participle. So you'll get tout d'abord, elle a téléphoné, she telephoned or she called à son ami Daniel. She called her friend Daniel. Okay, next line. Ensuite, then elle. Now you have to put attendre in the passé composé. Attendre is again not Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, so it will go with avoir. Conjugate avoir in the present for elle becomes a. Now attendre is a normal re verb, so to get the participle, cancel re and put you. It will become attendu. Okay, she waited for the arrival. Attendre is to wait for. Okay, she waited for the arrival or she awaited the arrival of her friend Christophe. Copain is a friend. Okay, Contil dash. When he, now what? Frapper you have to put into the passé composé. Frapper is again avoir. Okay, frapper is to knock. So avoir for il is a. This is a normal er verb. So you have to substitute er with e accent to get the participle. So quand il a frappé à la porte, when he knocked at the door, elle dash. Now the subject has changed from il to elle. Okay, this is Christophe here. This is Lise here. Okay, so elle. Now you have to put them only into the passé composé. Again, it will go with avoir. It's not Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. So L, avoir for L is A. Demande is again normal ER. So you have to put E accent. Become A, demande. Quand il a frappé à la porte, elle a demandé. When he knocked at the door, she asked, Christophe, est-ce que tu dash? Okay, there's no blank here, but there is supposed to be a blank here. Est-ce que tu dash? Now you have to put finir here into the passé composé for tu. Okay, so tu, finir is an avoir verb, doesn't fall into Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. So avoir for tu is a. Finir is a normal IR verb. You get the participle by deleting the IR and you have to put I. So it will become tu as fini. Christophe, est-ce que tu as fini tes devoirs? Christophe, have you finished your homework? Christophe dash. You have to put répondre, which is to reply, to answer, into the passé composé. So répondre is again avoir. Okay, so conjugate avoir for Christophe, it will be il a. Okay, now répondre is a normal RE verb. So to get the participle, cancel RE and put U. It will become Christophe a répondu. Christophe replied or Christophe answered. Okay, mais oui, yes. Je. Now for je, you have to put choisir into the passé composé. Choisir is again avoir because it's not into the Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp category, and become je. Okay, avoir for je is a. Okay, if they give it to you as je, please make sure you change it into j apostrophe in order to avoid the clash of the e and the a. Now choisir is a normal ir verb like finir, so to get the participle, replace ir with I. Okay, and you will get j'ai choisi. I chose, j'ai choisi de finir mes devoirs cet après-midi. I chose to finish my homework this afternoon pour pouvoir sortir avec toi et Daniel ce soir, so that I could be able to go out with you and Daniel this evening. Okay, I hope these examples have been sufficient enough for you to understand how to form the participle, okay, how to decide when to use être and when to use avoir, and also to agree the participle when we are talking about passé composé with être. Thank you.